Damn. Hi there folks, it's Aaron, Professor Thorgi, your guide to all things geeky, and I am so tired right now. I just got done watching all of Netflix's Daredevil. It's been a long time since I went through a show like that, and I'll admit, I began watching it pretty quickly because I was like, okay, I want to get this review out there, it'll be good for hits, alright. I finished watching it so quickly because, damn. I want to apologize to all my neighbors, just to say that at the beginning, just to state that right away. I want to apologize to all my neighbors who I kept waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning just going, damn! Because this is indeed a show that's going to make you do that. This right here is my review of Netflix's Daredevil series, and it's my spoiler-free review. Now I'm going to have a spoiler-filled discussion / review coming up soon, so if you want to see that, then stick around, subscribe on my channel, or it might already be up right now, who knows. Okay, let's get into it. Daredevil has indeed premiered now on Netflix, and everybody's been waiting for it. Everybody's been waiting a year, or if not more, for this thing. So the hype train has been building up, and it's finally pulled into the station, and I'm happy to say, it was worth the wait. This show is, okay, let me put it like this. I've been waiting for that superhero TV show that would elevate it to a new level, that would make people take it seriously, okay? It's like, take The Walking Dead, for example. That came from a comic book, but people don't treat it like a typical comic book adaptation. Like, people don't look at it and go, oh, okay, yeah, that's just a fun little silly thing. People look at that as serious drama. And I've been waiting this whole time for when are we getting the superhero version of that? Because don't get me wrong, I love The Flash. The Flash is amazing. But The Flash is still fun, happy, upbeat, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I love fun, happy, and upbeat. But I'm waiting for that one that would make all those people who are like, yeah, but this isn't serious, this isn't real drama. I've been waiting for the TV show that would make all those people shut the fudge up. And it's here. Daredevil is that show. I seriously, maybe it's because I'm so tired right now, or maybe I'm just on like an adrenaline high from finishing it, but I seriously don't know where to begin because almost everything in this show is fantastic. I'll start with the acting. The acting knocks it out of the park, and I apologize to everyone, I am terrible when it comes to names for actors and actresses, so I'm just gonna call them by their character names, but Matt Murdock, you know, he's definitely solid. But Karen Page, holy crap. The lady playing Karen Page, she came onto this thing and went, oh, I'm walking away with an award. I am not leaving this show without something gold in my hand, alright? I came to this thing to win awards. I came here to make the audiences cry. In the opening 2 episodes, she goes through every range of emotions that you could expect an actress to go through. That is stunning what they do with her. And from there, the cast continues to get great. Ben Urich, the guy playing Ben Urich, once again, I apologize to all the actors and actresses out there whose names I'm forgetting. But Ben Urich, oh my god, I thought that was gonna be like such a small role, and he could have been such a flat character. Like, you know, the detective who comes in is like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this case. Oh, not detective, but the journalist who comes in and goes, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this case. That's a character we've seen over and over again, and they're necessary, and they're fairly easy to play, because, once again, we've seen him so many times. He gives so much depth to Ben Urich. The writing and the acting that goes into that character, once again, that's another character who, I'm not saying they deserve to win an Emmy, but if they're not nominated, I'm calling BS. And Foggy, oh my god, I went into the show, and in the first like 2 episodes, I was like, I don't know about this Foggy, he's kind of a jerk, and I mean, he's maybe even a little bit racist, I can't quite tell, but I don't really like this Foggy. By episode 4 or 5, I love Foggy. By that time, by the time you hit like the halfway point in the season, it's like, this is the Foggy from the comics. This is Matt Murdock's best friend, the guy who is there to support him, but also the guy who provides levity in this incredibly serious situation, which I'm gonna get into that more in the spoiler episode, but that is something that I absolutely loved about this show, is that it got dark. It got really dark, and as I said, I'm not really the biggest, oh, let's go dark kind of guy. I love fun stuff. I love fun and upbeat, but I fully understand the need for drama. I fully understand the need for shows that get really dark and gritty and serious. However, if you just have that non-stop, then the audiences get numb to it. Then it just becomes gray, white noise. It just becomes no one cares about after a point. You need someone to come in and provide some levity. You need someone to come in and tell a joke every now and again. Foggy nails it in this show. Foggy is that life preserver that's just been thrown out there on the sea of drama. So whenever it's like you're about to sink into it, you just grab onto Foggy and it's like, okay, oh, I got some air. Okay, I'm good now. And even like the smaller roles, like it's revealed in the trailers that Styx, the guy who trained Daredevil, is going to indeed be in this show. He's only in here for like 2 episodes. Nails it. He is amazing. Like, he's only in there for that short of a period of time. And I don't mean to keep saying, oh, this show deserves to win awards, but as I was watching him, I was like, the Emmys have an award for guest spots, right? Because I think I know who should get it. That dude plays the perfect dick. I'm sorry, there's no other word for it. The dude's a dick in this show. But he is so perfect. Like, every single time that someone calls him out on it, he's got the perfect response to him to make you go, God damn, you are so assholishly charming. Is that a word? I don't know if it is, but it describes you. And every single member of, like, Kingpin's gang, like, 'cause he's running a whole criminal organization with groups from Russia and China and Japan. Every single one of them, once again, nailing it. The Chinese woman in here, she is this little old lady with a cane, and yet she is frightening. Like, she gives speeches that just like was making me like lean back in my chair like, oh God, no. And then of course you've got Leland Owlsley in there, who in the comics is the Owl, but in this one he's just, you know, he's an old guy. He's the guy who moves the Kingpin's money around the show. And once again, just the perfect like dickish attitude. It is so well written and every line that he's given is so perfectly delivered. Like everybody else there's like, oh, we gotta know what to do about this man in the mask, and oh, what are we gonna do about these superheroes that are now popping up? Owlsley is in there, and he's just like, hey, who gives a shit? Oh, superheroes? Ah, whatever. There's so many people in here that I can just point out for being fantastic, and I can't listen to them all. Okay, but everyone's good. Only person who I kinda had a problem with was the Kingpin himself, okay? And don't get me wrong, Kingpin is a great character in this. He is great. It took me a while to warm up to him because he's not the Kingpin that I knew from the comics. He's not the Kingpin that I was used to. Because the Kingpin that I'm used to, you know, he's exudes confidence. Like, he is kind of smooth. He's like, ah, yes, hello, great to meet you, Senator. Yes, very good. But then he goes and just bashes the dude's head in back behind closed doors. Now in this show, yeah, the bashing of heads still goes on behind closed doors. But the Kingpin, it plays more on that rage. It plays more on that, like, I am just so pissed off kind of person, to the point where his public persona is far more quiet and reserved. Like, you look at him and it's clear that he is a man who is constantly fighting something in the back of his head. Like, the Kingpin in the comics, he, you know, you would never look at that guy and go, oh, this is the guy who probably crushes people with his bare hands. You look at this guy and he's just more quiet and reserved, and he doesn't really want to speak up when he's in public. He's just very quiet. But then when you see that anger come out, you understand it. When you see that anger come out, you understand it's like, yeah, this dude is super pissed off at everything. And he was just constantly trying to fight that, and it's captured very well. I thought that was done so well. My only problem, though, is that Kingpin is running all of New York. The Kingpin is the boss of New York. I look at the Kingpin in the comics and I'm like, alright, yeah, I can totally see how you rose to power. I look at the Kingpin here and it's like, okay, I can see you beating people to death to get up to power, but like just smoozing people over and just working your way through the underground, I don't see that, because like I said, when you're not beating people to death, you're very like, oh, yes, hi, yes, it's good to see you, yes. It's like, I don't quite see him rising to power. That was my only problem with the Kingpin. Now, speaking of beating people unconscious, the action in this show, it's very clear that everyone on this set trained like crazy. I'm sure that there were tons of stuntmen. Obviously, there had to be. There's no way that the actors themselves were doing all this. But there were so many scenes in which the actor playing Daredevil, you know, he would deliver a line, and then he would turn right into it and start doing action, or he would go into some crazy flip kick move, and then in the same cut would then start delivering lines. Like, oh my god, that's actually him doing this. He actually did the work. And even in the scenes that's clearly a stuntman, the directing on this action is amazing. There is one fight scene, it's all one long cut. And I'm sure that there were cheats in there. I'm sure that there were ways that they cheated it. But it's like a 5-minute ass beating. and it's all just one cut. And you get stuff like that all throughout this series, and just to warn you, it's dark. Like, the action in this, like, yeah, it's some pretty impressive martial arts, but this isn't like, you know, say, Iron Man, where he's blasting people with repulsor beams, or even Iron Man 3 when he shoots someone with a gun and does a flip, but it's got big heroic music playing and you don't see any blood and the guy just kind of like falls over and is like, ah, and it's like, that's all that there is to it. This thing gets so dark and dirty and gritty and filthy at points, and I'm cool with that. Like I said, I enjoy the fun stuff, but I understand the need for a show that will take superheroes far more gritty and darker, and I am stunned at the levels that they went to in this. I mean, there were moments that left my jaw just dropped. For anybody who's seen it, there's a story about 2 Russians and they're being held in a prison cell, and how they say they got out of there? Oh my gosh. Once again, that's not a spoiler. I will talk more about some of the detailed stuff in the spoiler episode, but for anybody who's seen that, you know what I'm talking about. Wow. Yeah, don't be fooled just because Marvel and ABC's names are on this. This is Netflix. This is HBO level qualities of grit. In the first episode, when someone says, I will beat the shit out of you, my ears perked up and I went, wait, hold on, what did you just say? This is a Marvel thing, you can't say that. And then it just kept escalating up from there. They were like, no, we can do anything we want. But that's another one of my minor concerns. That's one of my minor problems with this, is that, like I said, I understand the need for going grittier, for going darker, for kind of showing, yeah, we can now do, like, mature rated stuff. But it got to points where I was like, you've gone too far. There are moments in here which is like, this is just becoming violence porn at this point. This is just bloodsploitation. This is just you going, how far can we go? And the answer is pretty far. But as long as I'm nitpicking things here, there was one other thing that I kind of liked it at first. But then as the show went on, it began to wear on me a little bit, started to get a little bit annoying towards the end. And that's that, you know, it's no surprise that that black costume that we've seen him in, that's not his final costume. It has been confirmed that he will be putting on the classic Daredevil costume with the horns and the red and all that. And I will say this, it looks good. It looks really good in this show. But don't worry, I'm not going to show it to you in this video because I respect the people out there who don't want it spoiled for them. Unlike the rest of the internet who found out what it looked like 2 days before the show aired. Seriously, people, we had this hidden from us for a year. A year this thing was hidden from us. And then 2 days before the show comes on, you're like, oh, hey, it got leaked somewhere. Time to throw it all over the internet. You couldn't wait 2 days. Okay, sorry, had to get that out. But, as I was saying, the costume looks great. But it doesn't get revealed until the final episode, which is fine. I fully understand it. That's a good time to introduce it. I mean, what better time to introduce it? But about halfway through the season, they start hinting at it. About halfway through the season, they start going, oh, you gotta get a new costume. Oh, this old costume of yours is getting torn up. Oh, this costume doesn't look good. They put that in there at first, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're doing there. That's nice. But then they keep hammering that in, and by the time that I had 3 episodes left, I was like, dude, you have to just give me the costume now. You have hit on this too many times. But when that's like my biggest concern with this series, you know it's gotta be good. I saw this, and I looked over at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I was like, alright, you guys got pretty decent this season, but you're capable of doing this stuff? And you're still doing this? Come on, Marvel. But forget Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know what it really made me look at? Gotham. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is at least going for something different. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going for a totally different theme than Daredevil, a totally different tone than Daredevil. Gotham is going for the exact same thing. Gotham is going for beat the exact same thing that Daredevil is. Daredevil just came in and knocked it out of the park. Gotham is barely bunting at this point, okay? Congratulations, Marvel. You just out-Batman Batman, alright? Cancel Batman vs. Superman. It's Batman vs. Daredevil at this point, okay? But I'll just end by saying this. Marvel, Daredevil is so good, I'm giving you 2 free flop cards, alright? You can have 2 of your future projects just flat out stink, and I will not question you at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I gotta review all this stuff, so I will come on here, and if you make a bad movie, I will say you made a bad movie. But even if I say it's bad, I ain't gonna question your long game plan. I ain't gonna question your future projects, okay? Ant-Man could come out and be a complete piece of crap, I will still go, alright, but they made Daredevil. Okay, so yeah, I don't really have a rating system, but if I had to give this a grade, 5 stars, a 10, an A. You know what, this goes beyond letters and numbers, alright? I give this 5 CeeLo Greens saying, ooh damn!
Oh damn!
Thanks CeeLo, and thank you guys at home. If you like this episode, then please hit that subscribe button down below, and also share it around the web. Share my nonsense and crazy rantings with the world. But, as I said, I've got future videos coming up, including a Daredevil spoiler review, so stick around and let me know what you thought about Daredevil. Leave that in the comments below. Alright, thanks everybody.